It is now with my great pleasure to introduce our speakers for today. We have Mattias Nilsing, Product Manager of SGRT for Particle Therapy and CT Imaging at C-RAD, and Madhavi Kapa, Senior Director of Product Strategy at Accuray, who will be discussing the benefits of the Radixact system and SGRT. Here are the listed disclaimers and disclosures. Madhavi?
Yes, thank you, Karen. Sorry for that. So hello, everyone. Here's the agenda for our talk today. Thank you for joining. First, Mattias will provide an overview of C-RAD and SGRT, and then I will provide a brief overview of the Radixact system and its benefits specifically for breast cancer treatments with the treatment techniques of helical delivery, fixed beam angle delivery, and the IVH treatments using SGRT, which is called the vital hold solution. So we'll go in depth in the vital hold solution, describing how we are integrating and automating the Radixact system with C-RAD. So with that, Mattias, over to you.
Thank you, Madhavi. So I will start with C-RAD, who are we, and then go over to SGRT overview. So C-RAD is a Swedish company with a headquarters in the city of Uppsala, just north of Stockholm. This area has quite some other companies contributing to the field of life science. It is founded 2003, and we have products for patient positioning, patient verification, and accessory verification in the radiation treatment of cancer field. Currently, we have over 1,300 SGRT systems installed in CT rooms, photon and particle treatment rooms all around the world. SGRT stands for surface-guided radiation therapy, and this is a technology that has been used in the radiation therapy for cancer treatment for over 20 years. The clinical use has now accelerated and is becoming standard of care. Evidence for that is the recently published AAPM Task Group 302, as well as the ESTRO-ACROP guidelines for SGRT. The technology is using cameras and optical light to monitor the skin surface of the patient. This technology is also commonly used for inspection in production or assembly line, but then it's referred to machine vision, that you use a machine to do the visual inspection. But here you do it typically for setup, motion management, and gating. And this allows for precise alignment, ensuring that the treatment is accurately delivered while minimizing the damage to surrounding healthy tissues. And the beauty of this technology is that it knows where the patient is all the time. So as long as the patient is on the couch, SGRT knows where the patient is. And there's no dose added, it's non-invasive, and it's markerless. And if you go further to the SGRT setup, the standard setup that has been used for quite some years now is based on a 3-point laser tattoo-based setup, where you put the lasers, the tattoos on the CT side, on the patient, and then align it in the treatment room. So instead, if you let the machine do the visual alignment, you instead of using the 3 points, you'd use million points for the surface registration matching. And you can also use the external body contour from the CT via the DICOM Artistruct as a reference. And if you also combine it with the ARCD plan, you can have the setup for the treatment position and also monitoring the different treatment positions through the treatment. The technology provides sub-millimeter precision and is competing with the accuracy of 3D imaging, but the SGRT should be seen as a complement to IGRT. And a typical imaging scheme, as you see down below, where you have on a weekly basis, you have the combination of SGRT and IGRT. And then on a daily basis, you can actually go on a pure SGRT. And by doing so, you can spare time spent on imaging, and also spare some dose to the patient. After the setup, instead of having the therapist supervising the patient, let the SGRT monitor the patient with this SGRT technology. And another use case is the gating. So in radiotherapy, the goal is to hit the target as precise and efficient as possible, and at the same time spare healthy tissues. And we can control and manage in QA the systems involved, but one thing we cannot fully control is the patients. The human body moves voluntary or involuntary, and there's a lot of process in the body that constantly is going on. Where especially the respiratory motion is a major source of target uncertainty in the external radiation treatment of thoracic and abdominal tumors. And we have to either account for it, control it, but you can also take advantage of it. And gating is a really good way to handle this and take advantage of the motions. And this should be included in the whole treatment process, starting from the imaging, through the planning, and then to the gated treatment in the delivery. And the idea to focus on the part of the breeding phase where the conditions are optimized to hit the target and spare the healthy tissues. And you use that opportunity to radiate only at that condition. And when you're treating breath and breath hold, the radiation to those to organs at risk can be minimized. You can spare the heart and maximize the dose to the tumor. This is a commonly workflow in regular CMR Linux, which has been done since several years, also in proton environment. But at this far, as far as I know, no DIBH workflow can be performed with automatic beam hold on a helical linac. And SGRT is commonly used to measure the breathing pattern and or the breath hold surface, and it's doing so without any markers of fiducial on the patient. We often have customers that actually use SGRT primer for gating, and with the visual coaching devices, which is usually a good combination with the SGRT to help the patient breathe as planned. And the most important factor is the interface to the linac to hold the beam automatically. And if we scratch a little bit more on the surface, especially on the SGRT technology from C-RAD, we're using structured light on our scanners, where we have a camera and a projector. And the projector projects a structured pattern onto the patient, which is picked up on this high-speed camera. And when this structured pattern is projected on the patient, this pattern gets distorted. And by using optical triangulation, we can create a high-resolution surface. And to use that and utilize that surface for patient positioning, we use a non-rigid algorithm. And the reason we choose the non-rigid is several, not only for precision, but also for usability. We don't want to spend time on handle local deformation manually, which commonly are present at the patient. So during the non-rigid image registration deformation algorithm, we get the outputs, the posture errors, where we can project onto the patient or in the GUI if they have the arm is in an incorrect position or the shin. At the same time, we can provide 6-off couch shift to be able to move the patient in the correct position in order to hit the target and have the target in the radiation isocenter. The other parts of the SGRT from C-RAD is the gating part, where we have a product in the CT. It's called Sentinel, which is a laser-based SGRT. And it's used for gated CT and 4D CT. For the DIBH, you can also use other equipment in the CT, but the most important that you can have a gated CT. If you have the Sentinel, you have to set up the respiratory parameters, which is where you want to pick up the breathing. Usually it is on the sternum, but you can also combine it with a secondary respiratory point, usually place it on the belly to make sure that the patient doesn't switch to belly breathing. You also set up a gating window to make a really distinct separation between the free breathing and the breath hold. And when you have set this up, you can perform this gated CT in breath hold for planning. And when it's time for treatment, in the treatment room, we have the Catalyst Plus, which also can read this breathing pattern. And if you have the Sentinel, these respiratory parameters are already set there before the treatment. If you don't have the Sentinel, you can set this up at the first day of treatment. And during treatment, the respiratory parameters and the surface is tracked simultaneously. When the patient breathes in, we can gate the beam. So we have a gated treatment in breath hold. So over to you, Madhavi.
Okay, thank you, Mattias. So I thought for those in the audience who may be new to the Radixact system, I'll provide a brief overview and also highlight the innovations that we have introduced on the Radixact system in the past 3 years. So just from the overview perspective, the Radixact system is a helical CT linac that can treat all indications and case complexities. It is an efficient system, and recently we have introduced Volo Ultra, which provides a fast way of planning with automation on the Accuray Precision Treatment Planning System. So the combination of efficient planning with short beam on times and the use of ClearRT helical fan beam KVCT imaging for patient setup enables clinics to get higher patient throughput and also be operationally efficient. Personalized care, in the area of personalized care, that is expected by clinicians and patients. And so in this area, we have introduced adaptive solutions of real-time motion management with synchrony, where the machine tracks, detects, and corrects for motion using imaging without any patient restrictions. And we also have adaptive dose monitoring and replanning with PreciseArt and PreciseRTX. So these tools facilitate the adaptation as needed during the patient's treatment journey. It goes without saying that all systems need interoperability, and for the Radixact system, the interoperability is built in via the Integrated Data Management System, which is called the IDMS. The IDMS enables the Radixact system to deliver plans that are created using RayStation treatment planning. So if you have standardized treatment planning in your department with RayStation, you can create plans for the Radixact system using RayStation and deliver those. IDMS also enables connectivity with the OIS systems, so ARIA, Mosaic, and RayCare, for seamless workflow of consuming the appointments, automatically updating the patient records after treatment, and offline review capability of the images, capability with the ARIA, RayCare, as well as Mosaic. So the Mosaic offline review capability is quite new. We just introduced it. Now we have compatibility with all 3 major OIS systems. So that's a brief overview of the Radixact system for you. Now let's talk specifically about what benefits the Radixact system provides for breast cancer treatments. So as you know, breast cancer is one of the most commonly diagnosed cancer in the world. And with proactive screening, that's getting diagnosed earlier and earlier. And we know radiation therapy plays a crucial role in the treatment management of breast cancer. And typically, about a quarter of the patients treated in radiation therapy departments are breast cancer patients. So having the versatility and flexibility to treat the full spectrum of breast cancer cases with accuracy and precision is essential in a treatment delivery system. And this is what the Radixact system provides. So overall, we have 3 treatment techniques that I would like to go over. The first one is tomohelical with 360-degree helical delivery to treat complex cases like bilateral breast or breast with lymph nodes, delivering partial breast irradiation with real-time target tracking and dynamic delivery using synchrony that I mentioned with motion management, and TomoDirect to treat whole breast and early stage breast cancer with tangential beams. Now, with the latest release, we have made this very fast. So these can be delivered in less than 10-minute treatment time slots with typical total beam on time of 2 minutes. The third is VitalHold, and we'll go into this into a lot more detail. VitalHold delivers deep inspiration breath hold treatments using TomoDirect and SGRT with automated beam gating to ensure that cardiac and lung sparing for left breast cancer treatments to minimize the risk of cardiac events later in a patient's life. So, and also for those patients who are not suited for breath hold treatments, because there are patients who may not be able to hold their breath, helical delivery offers a valuable alternative to achieve a similar level of dose distribution. So these techniques provide a comprehensive suite to treat breast cancer on the Radixact system. Now I will go into this a little bit more in detail with some examples so you can see the benefit. So as I mentioned, tomohelical is the treatment delivery technique where beamlets are delivered in a 360-degree helical fashion around the patient. And this provides precise dose painting and highly conformal dose distributions for complex shaped target volumes. It also enables simultaneous irradiation of multiple target volumes in the same plan. And you can see that here in these examples of the bilateral breast plan on the left, and on the right is a plan that was created for treating breast with lymph nodes with simultaneous boost. Okay, so moving on to TomoDirect. TomoDirect treatments are 3D CRT or IMRT treatments delivered at discrete beam angles with fixed gantry positions. And as I mentioned, we have made this faster in a recent release, which is available to you. And what the system does is it can pause the beam very quickly and resume the beam very quickly. So it can pause the beam in less than 100 milliseconds and resume the beam in less than a second. That results in fast beam transitions, and that is what enables the total beam on time of 2 minutes or less for higher patient throughput. And I mentioned before Volo Ultra on Accuray Precision. It provides automation and industry standard planning capabilities to create high quality breast plans quickly with short beam on time. Now, Mattias and I will take you through our latest addition in the comprehensive suite. This is the Radixact VitalHold solution with C-RAD Catalyst Plus HD. Accuray and C-RAD are partnering to bring to the Radixact system the ability to use surface guidance for patient positioning, patient monitoring, and delivering DIPH treatments. And with this VitalHold solution, clinics can move towards tattoo-free optical patient setup, as Mattias described, monitor patients during the treatment deliveries, and deliver DIPH treatments using TomoDirect and SGRT in a fully integrated and automated workflow. And we'll take you through those steps of the integrated and automated workflows. So we start with treatment planning. Here are a couple of examples of left breast 3D CRT treatment plans created using Volo Ultra on Accuray Precision treatment planning system. As you can see, both plans provide homogeneous dose coverage and low mean hard dose, and you can see the beam on times of approximately 2 minutes. So on the left, it's very much less than 2 minutes. On the right is a little over 2 minutes, but it's approximately about 2 minutes total beam on time. Okay, then to talk a little bit more about the data transfer, because as part of automation, it's important the data is available where the user expects it. And so on the during treatment planning, you can tag a plan as a breath hold gating plan. So that's easy to do. And even if that needs to change, that can be changed on the treatment delivery system. On the IDMS system, there is a one-time setup of automatic export of DICOM data. So you can set that up one time, and then when the plan gets approved, you can automatically export the DICOM data to C-RAD. And as I mentioned before, the IDMS system enables the connection between the OIS and the Radixact system. So as soon as a patient is checked in, you can see the information for the patient and the plans for that patient on the Radixact system treatment delivery console. So the patient will be ready for treatment on the treatment delivery console. Now, if you do want to send the DICOM data at a later point in time to another system, we do have the ability of one-click manual export from IDMS. So from a data transfer point of view, we have made improvements in automated data transfer between systems. Okay, and then to describe I will describe the overall setup of how the Radixact system and C-RAD system are set up, and Mattias will take you through the workflows. But to describe the system setup, there are 3 Catalyst Plus HD cameras that are located in the Radixact bunker. Outside the bunker, next to the treatment delivery console, will be the C-RAD workstation. And there's also a C-RAD monitor inside the bunker so that the therapist can easily adjust the patient setup from inside the room. They don't have to go in and out. So the 2 systems are very well integrated, yet they also allow for independent operation. So if you wanted to change the reference for the patient, you can do that on the C-RAD system. The other thing I wanted to point out was the connection to the SGRT system is displayed on the status bar of the treatment delivery console. So that helps the therapist know that all is well in terms of connectivity. And I point to this flow diagram that we put on the slide. Here you can see that once the patient checks in at the OIS, the information is automatically available on the treatment delivery console. And from there, the flow of information from the treatment delivery console to the C-RAD system is also automated. And same on the other side. So if there are any adjustments made using surface guidance for the patient setup, those adjustments get sent back to this treatment delivery console in an automated manner. And same during delivery, and Mattias will go into this a lot more detail, but during delivery also, the couch positions are sent automatically to the C-RAD system, and the gating signal is sent automatically from the C-RAD system based on the threshold that has been set. So simple workflows with automation for patient setup, patient monitoring, and DIPH treatments. And Mattias?
Yes, so I will go through the setup on the Radixact system using the Catalyst Plus HD. So we're setting up the patient outside the bore using the C-position module to this prescribed surface and isocenter tolerances. And this is done in free breathing, and the therapists are there in the bunker. We use the large patient surface and compare it to the reference CT structure, which was imported, as Madhavi said, to the C-RAD system. The patient's posture errors are directly shown onto the patient by projecting light for an easy chin and arm correction. These are also shown in the GUI. And at the same time, we have calculated 6 degrees of freedom couch shifts presented to the user. How to put the patient within the tolerances there. And the user can select which axis they want to use for the couch shift. And with a single click, the selected shifts are automatically sent to the couch for instant position correction. The accuracy for this is 0.5 millimeters, and you can see immediately the shift that sends over to the Radixact in the treatment delivery console. You can see on the lower left. These shifts are then simply applied by pressing setup on the position control panel. After the setup outside, the couch is moving in. The couch positions is automatically transferred to Catalyst. If we can follow the patient and the couch into the bore. And we are ready for the final verification imaging or the treatment. The therapist leaves the room, and the patient treatment position is now monitored by the Catalyst Plus HD. So if we go through next to the DIBH workflow. So now you have set up the patient into the right treatment position. You're going into the bore. Now you have the prescribed gating parameters with the dual tracking points and typically a 2 to 4 millimeter gating window. The only thing you have to do on a daily basis or each fraction is to account for daily baseline correction to make sure that you have exactly the same separation from the free breathing to the breath hold. Then we are tracking the dynamic respiratory breathing using the C respiration module. And at the same time, we're tracking the breath hold surface using the C motion module. And we're using visual coaching devices, as you can see below. You have goggles for the patient to use, or we also have visual panels, light panels in the ceiling that change colors according to the breathing. And then you instruct the patient to take a deep breath, and they can feel that they contribute to the treatment, and they can actually take control of their own treatment success with the help of this coaching device. And then we allow the treatment only at the prescribed gating window at breath hold in combination with the breath hold patient position. And this is done with the automatic beam hold, where the beam signal is transferred to the Radixact, and it's also shown on the Radixact treatment delivery console. You can see on the lower left there. And if you want to continue, you instruct the patient to take a new deep breath, and you can resume the treatment. And the treatment will continue until all the dose is safely delivered to the target in breath hold, which will spare the surrounding healthy tissues.
Yeah, thank you, Mattias. So in summary, the Radixact system is a comprehensive breast cancer treatment system that provides techniques like tomohelical, tomodirect, and vital hold with the integration of C-RAD to give you the versatility and flexibility to treat the full spectrum of breast cancer cases with accuracy, precision, and efficiency. So with that, we thank you for your attention. If you have questions, yeah, I see some questions. Please put them in the Q&A box. We're happy to answer them. And I also want to say that if you will be at Astro in San Diego, please come see us at the Accuray and C-RAD booths. We will have the complete setup at the Accuray booth for demonstration, so you can come get a demo. So thank you again.